Hello my lovelies and welcome back to my channel. Today is day 2 of our Sincerely Jen Tribbiani Sew Along. Today we'll be adding the connectors and the connector webbing. We'll also be creating the inside pocket, and I'll show you how to make the hack to add sleeve for your carry-on. Let's get started by creating the connectors. So we'll be adding them on both the front and the sides today. So take your connectors for the front and the back, which are in my case the one that are 12 inches long. So you should have 4 of them, and you should also have 4 rectangle rings. So we'll take them one by one right now, and we'll fold the rectangle ring by 1 inch and add a pin, or you can add some double-sided tape or some clips. It's up to you. And we'll do that 4 times. Make sure all your connectors are the same length. This is really not a difficult pattern at all. And I think the longest video was definitely yesterday's cutting and interfacing. That tends to take the most time when it comes to bag making. Okay, your connectors are ready. Let's put the side ones aside for now, because my space here is limited. And now you're going to want to grab your 2 main pieces and find the center. And on the center, you want to draw a line. So this is my center. And you're going to draw a line based on which size you're making. So in my case, I'm making a medium. So the medium calls for 2.75 on each side. But because I'm using a smaller strap, not a 125, I'm using a 1 inch. I'm using 3. I'm doing 3 on each side. And now I'm going to take advantage of my double-sided tape, which I call my helping hands. And I'm going to stick them right here where I made my marking. So this is my marking line. You won't be able to see it because of the busy print, but I can see it. And you want to stick your connector like so. Grab another one and do the same thing on the other side. And because I trust my tape, I'll do all 4 of them and then stitch. If you don't have double-sided tape, you should grab some. This is from Wizardry Stitchery and Crafts, which is also providing a prize, a gift card prize for our Sew Along winner. So you need to check them out as well, and stock up on double-sided tape when it's back in stock, because it's amazing. It's like having an extra pair of hands in your sewing room. Okay. So this is one side. See how well it holds? Like, I don't have to do anything right now. I love this tape. Alright, let me add the other one and then we'll stitch. So same thing, you're going to want to measure, find the center of your panel, which is here, and then I'll measure 3 inches in my case on each side. 275 for the medium if you're using the webbing recommended in the pattern. I'm running out. I do have one more roll, so I'm not complaining. I have one more roll of double-sided tape, but I can't believe I'm finishing my first one. And it's because I'm using it every time I make straps. So it's like 56 inches every time, twice. That's why I ran out of it so quickly. But it's a pretty decent roll. And it sticks beautifully to this glow-in-the-dark tape. Okay, I'm just making sure that it's straight. Okay, and the last one, and then we'll stitch. For my thread today, I'm using the fairy floss. I feel it goes well with the project. Unicorn mane goes beautifully too, but I already have fairy floss in my needle, so I'm just too lazy to change it. Also from Wizardry. And Tex 80 is for industrial machines, but it does come in other weights and thicknesses for domestic as well. Okay, I'm following the marking. Easy peasy. Okay, so let's go ahead and stitch along those sides. So I'll start by stitching just at the top right now. It's easier to stitch right here and then come on both sides from the bottom edge up. This way my foot won't interfere with my handle here. So now I'm stitching this down with 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. If you want, you can also use rivets right now. Oh, the thread looks so pretty on the white. It glows in the dark. Can't wait to see all your bags this week. I am so happy I'm doing a sew along in the backstitch back room. I missed it. It's been a hot minute. And I feel like this backstitch prints vinyl needed its moment to shine in the backstitch backroom group. So far I've never used it for a sew along. I did use woven and cotton lycra many times. Okay, so let's do the same thing 4 more times. Always backstitch at the beginning and at the end. pretty. I will do the other one off camera because it's exactly the same thing I've done right now. So you don't have to watch me sew stray stitches. Gorgeous, gorgeous. So of course you'll be stitching the second panel as well. And this is what it looks like, and you'll have two of the same. So now we're going to be working on the side panel. Okay, set that aside for now. So grab your side panel, and you should have two D-rings for the side panel and two webbings. If you remember from yesterday, my webbing is 1.5 inch for the side panel because this is what I had as a connector. So we'll be doing the same thing. We're going to be folding one end 1 inch and clip it down. So I'm working with what I have. In this case, 1.5 inch D-rings. I can't believe I've ran out of D-rings that are 1 inch. That rarely happens. I've been sewing a lot lately. That's what it means. Okay. So you'll have two like so. And I'll add some double-sided tape to the back just to have them ready. Oh, it is over. It is over. We made it to the last of the circle. You had a good run, double-sided tape. You had a good run. Yep, this is it. Okay, so I'll grab the last one. Like so. So now you will have to find the center. Make sure that you've placed your side pieces the correct way, because they're not quite rectangles. So the smaller part is on the bottom, and that one is almost 10.5. 10 1/4 on the bottom, which is 5 1/8. Okay, so this is the center. That's the center. So you want to make sure that the center of your webbing, depending on the size you chose, is right in the center of your panel. Same thing for the other one, and then we'll stitch it down. This tarot print is so pretty. Put your marking and slap your double-sided tape. Centered right here. Beautiful. So we're gonna go ahead and stitch it down. I'll stitch one and then one off camera. Again, you can also rivet it here. You can get creative. Chicago screws would work nicely as well. And on the sides. So this is what you want, what it will look like for the sides. And of course we'll repeat the same steps for the other one. I feel like I'm going to add one more layer of stitching here, one more row of horizontal stitching, just to take some of the pressure of the first row. Just in case this bag will be super stuffed, so I know I have extra support on the sides. Okay, so repeat obviously all the steps for the other side panel. Now, if you're not adding the sleeve for the carry-on, you can fast forward through these parts. If you are, you're going to be sewing the two sleeve parts, right sides together, kind of like a slip pocket. So we're going to be sewing all around, leaving an opening to turn it. It's a super easy hat. Usually for this style bag, the sleeves are in, this sleeve is in the webbing here. However, this is, I think, too narrow, even at 3 inches on each side. 6 inches, I don't think it's enough for a handle. So what I'm going to do, you need about 4 on each side, 4.5 probably on each side. So unless you want to modify the location of your handles, you would have to do it the way I do it right now. If you want to put this sleeve in between these handles, you would need to put them further apart. Am I making sense? You would need to put them at least 4.25 apart from the center. Because right now this is too narrow for those handles of the carry-on. So we're gonna put this on top. Just because I want to have it, again, it's not part of the pattern, it's an extra thing I'm doing. I'm clipping the corners and then I'm turning inside out, right side. So now I have no raw edge. Since it's going on the outside, I didn't want to have any raw edges. if you're using woven, you can go ahead and give it a good press. Make sure you poke out all the corners. Get them as crisp as you can. I'm going to close this opening. Just by top stitching about 1/8 of an inch away from the edge. And I'm going to be top stitching only on the long edges right now. So I'm going to top stitch along this edge and along this edge, not the sides for now. Oh, this thread is so pretty, and it really pops on the black background. Okay. Decide which one is your wrong side, and on the wrong side go ahead and add some double-sided tape on my brand new roll. See how big it is? The 1/2 inch one. Well, I mean the roll this big. They come in 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch. So I'm going to use some double-sided tape on the sides here. Just to help me out, because I'm not pinning through vinyl and it's too far away to clip. Okay, so we're going to find the center of this, and where you had your center markings on one of your main panels, decide which one is your back panel. Mine are the same, so it's random. But yours, if you have like a panel featured or an image you want featured, decide which one goes on the back of the bag. So find the center, which is right here, and I'm going to be placing this about 2.5 inches. Where does it? Yeah, about 2.25 inches from the bottom. So 2.25, like so, and centered. I'm going to remove my double-sided tape and just stick it down. This will cover those handles, but I feel like I use this feature on my other bags a lot, so I kind of want it. When I have 2 kids and a million things to carry, not having to worry about this definitely helps. I just stick it on my carry-on and call it a day. So I do like having this option. You don't have to. Okay, so it will look something like this. It did cover those handles. If you wanted the handles on the outside, you see you would have to space them, like I said before, more than the pattern calls for. So they would have to be like on this edge. Okay, so now we're going to be doing 2 rectangle stitches on each side. I won't do just one stitch because it won't hold well. So what I do is I go 1/8 of an inch away from the edge, which will blend in with the initial top stitching. And then I go about 1/2 an inch to 5/8 of an inch on this side. Okay, and then I go back up and close the rectangle on the other side, like so. I'll show you what it looks like, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. And this will ensure that it's not going to tear your vinyl or break when you hang it. Okay, see how it looks on that side? That's what we'll be doing on the other side as well. Don't do just one row of stitching. It's not going to be enough to support the weight of the bag. And it's because I've tried that before. I'm telling you, it didn't work. I've made a different bag and I only put a row of stitching, and when my kids carried it, it just tore off. So this will be the back of my bag now. Oops, I went too far. One more back. Yeah. Okay, so your hack to have the sleeve is ready. Now, if you want to be even extra, you can hack the hack and add like a pocket here for a phone or something. Well, it's extra. So this will slide right on your carry-on. Okay, so let's set all of these aside for now. We've finished with the connector, we've finished with the little hack. We're going to be working right now on your zipper, so the inside zipper. For that, you need to grab one of your linings and your 2 zipper panels, as well as your as well as your number 3 zipper. Again, if you only have number 5, that's fine too. You can use that as well. So in order to add the pocket, you would need to grab one of your pocket pieces, and on the back side, you're going to measure 1 inch down from the top. Okay. I don't know how well you can see it on camera, but I'm using an orange pen on a black fabric so I can kind of see it. Then you're going to measure 1/2 an inch below that line that you just did. Okay, and 1 inch on each side. And you're going to connect these two lines. Okay, so now you have a box that is 13 inches by half an inch. And because I'm doing the medium, if you're using the small, it will be a different size, obviously. Okay. Now take your panel that you just made and place it right sides together to one of your linings. So one of these things was with wings, and you're going to place it 2 inches and 325, sorry, 325 from the top and centered. So my center is, make sure you grab the correct measurements for your own size, because size medium, small and large will have different measurements for everything that I'm doing right now. I'm working with the medium. So 325 down and centered. This is 17. So here is my center. Okay, so I'll find the center of this pocket bag, and I'm going to line it right here. Okay. And you can pin it in place, or you can glue, put some clips, or just hold it with your hands. So now I've centered the pocket panel to the center of that piece, and now I'm going to stitch all around that rectangle that we've created. I don't think you're able to see the markings I've made on my panel, but I can see them here in this slide. Pivot at the corners. I'll show you what it looks like, because with this thread you can definitely see it very nicely. Now that it's stitched. Okay, so this is what it looks like. How gorgeous is that thread? This is the fairy floss. So this is what it's going to look like. So now with your seam ripper, put a little slit somewhere in the center. Okay, and using your scissors, you're going to cut a slit through both layers, and you're going to stop about half an inch away from one end and do those Y snips. I'll show you a close-up. You want to get them as close as possible on both sides, as close as possible to the stitching without snipping your thread, of course. Okay, so this is what it looks like after you cut it. On both sides. Okay. So now you'll take your panel and you're going to pull it on the other side. So this way your lining and your pocket bag are wrong sides together. If you're using woven, you can go ahead and give it a good press right now. I'm using waterproof canvas, so what I will do is I'll put a couple of pins just to hold it in place for now. Pressing this is definitely helpful. So I'll do a little finger press here. And I'll show you what it looks like from the wrong sides. This is what the opening looks like from the right side. If you could press it, you won't need those clips. This is what it looks like from the wrong side. So these are wrong sides together. Now, one thing that I do want to mention that I found odd now in hindsight, the pattern tells you to cut the zipper at 13 inches, but this opening is also 13 inches. Which means there would be really no overhang of the zipper on each side, so you can close it up. So my suggestion right now would be to cut the zipper tape, and I cut another piece that's 14 inches. This way I have a half an inch on each side. It might be because the pattern might be referring to pre-made zipper that has the extra tape on each side, not the zipper by the yard. But I'm using zipper by the yard, so I ended up cutting this 1 inch longer than the pattern. This way I have a half an inch on each side overhang to be able to close the zipper properly. So yeah, I just want to make that mention. Maybe I'll add it to yesterday's video in an edit, because I did double check and it does say 13 inches for the zipper, but then 13 inches for the hole. So if it was 13 inches, it would be like there would be nowhere to end the zipper. So I did, and it's probably because it might be referring to zipper, pre-made zipper, not zipper by the yard. That could be it. So again, 14 inches for medium. For the other two, just add 1 extra inch to your zipper tape. Okay, so what I'll do right now, I'll grab my 1/8 of an inch zipper tape and place it to the edge of my zipper tape, and I'm grabbing the double-sided tape is what I meant. 1/8 of an inch is perfect for adding these zippers. It is super sticky, but it will help me hold it in place. When I'm going to center the zipper tape, the coils to the opening. You'll see in just a second. Okay, if you have any preferences on how your zipper opens, you need to decide that now. I really don't, so for me it really doesn't matter. So I'm going to tape my zipper starting with 1/2 inch away from the hole. Okay. And I will center my zipper tape as best as I can. And just press it down. I will stitch from the right side just to make sure that the zipper tape stays centered, the zipper coil. And remember, if you're using zipper by the yard like I am, right now there is no ending to your zipper tapes. So your zipper can fly right out if you're not being careful. So don't snag it. Okay, so it ends about 1/2 inch over. Perfect. So this is what it looks like from the right side, which is the side that we'll be sewing for them. Pretty centered. Okay. So let's start stitching all around. You're going to sew a rectangle box all around. If you want to sew from the wrong side to make it easier, you can certainly do that. I just want the fairy floss to be on the black on the outside. So when you sew the rectangle, you'll also be creating those zipper stops that you so very much need. A little too far there. Okay, so I'm sewing about 1/8 of an inch away from the edge through the zipper and all the layers. Move your zipper pull away if you need to. Make sure your zipper pull is indeed in here. Oops, that's a little snafu there. Oh well, it's not perfect, but it's mine. Okay. And then the last row. If you follow my channel, you know I don't really strive for perfection. I strive for making myself a custom bag, honestly. If I want perfection, there's plenty of shops that sell bags that are making perfectly looking, perfectly top stitch bags. I am not one. But I will try to fix my error here. Because everything is fixable. I can see where I went a little off the rail there. sort of-ish. Well, I'll show you what it looks like right now. And you, because of the fairy floss on black fabric, you can see it very easily. Let me pull out the snafu. I veered a little off course with the top stitching, but see, it's an easy fix. I'm just seam ripping what was veered off. Easy. And I'm melting the ends just so they blend in better. So this is what it looks like on the outside, and this is what it looks like from the back. So now you're going to take your other pocket piece, the remaining one, and you're going to place it right sides together on top of this existing one, and you're going to be stitching right now along the side, the top and the other side. You're going to be leaving this bottom open. So what I like to do, I like to fold 1/2 inch towards the wrong side. It will help me when I close the bag. So I'm going to fold 1/2 inch. If you're able to press this, go ahead and press it. I'm going to do the same thing, 1/2 inch on the other side. Okay. I'm not able to press it, so I'll do just a slight finger press. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and stitch all around this. Move your panel away. You don't want to stitch through this. You just want to stitch through the pocket. With a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Again, make sure you stitch just through the pockets. Okay, turn, move away the main panel when you stitch the top, and stitch through the 2 pocket pieces. Okay, same thing on this side. Move the panel away and keep just those 2 layers. And when you get to the bottom, you're going to be stitching through the folded piece. And I'll show you a close-up so you see what I've done. Okay, so this is what it looks like, stitched on the 3 sides, and here it's stitched like this. So you can see where I folded it, 1/2 inch, and this is left open, and on both sides it's stitched through the folded 1/2 inch. Okay, so this is it for now. Last step is to mark your grab your pattern piece and mark your seams on the sides. I did mark it on the main one, but I didn't mark it here. So if I find my orange, which I'm sure it's here somewhere, my orange pen, you want to go ahead and place your pattern piece and mark the seam allowance, just like you did yesterday for the main. And I have an orange pen. Oh, there it is. Okay. Don't skip this step because it's important to have an accurate seam allowance on these sides. So go ahead and mark it on all 4 corners, so 2 for each panel. And that is your last step for today. Snap a picture of your progress and post it in the day 2 photo comments in the Sew Along album in the Backstitch Backroom. Links to everything will be in the description of today's video as well. And I will see you back here tomorrow for our next steps. Bye!